to today's video. So on today's video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We haven't done a story time in a while.
Yeah, it's been like a few months.
It's been a few months. So we got a pretty wild story time for you guys. It's something that happened recently that we're not very happy about, but thankfully it might be resolved.
I really hope it's over.
Yeah, I hope it's all resolved and everything is well, but we will see as time continues. But for right now, things are okay.
Yes.
So we're gonna go over that, but first we are gonna have a little clip. We rescued a dog the other day, so that was very interesting.
Sorry, I'm getting my water.
We were working late at night and stuff, and we came across a dog that was chilling at a stop sign. It was so late that she was tired from work. She was knocked out in the passenger seat, and I was like, hey, don't be alarmed, but like, there's a dog looking right at you right now. But it was
when he said that too, like he startled me because I was like, is there a dog like at my face?
Yeah, like.
But then like I opened the window, I looked to the side, I opened the window and the dog was like chilling there. She looked kind of like scared, but she looked very approachable. So I told Sean like, oh, we can't just like leave her here.
No,
so,
she was super sweet.
So he got out the car, he found her like collar, and we called the owner. I called the owner, and initially they didn't answer, but then I tried again and they did. Yeah,
they felt so bad too. You could tell like after they didn't answer the first time, they were like, ooh, like.
Yeah, she was.
They answered kind of annoyed, you know.
She was like, was it a guy or a girl? I can't remember.
It was a guy.
It was a guy? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he answered kind of annoyed. He was like, hello, because it was like midnight. And we were like, hey, she was telling him.
I was like, hey, so I found your dog. I'm in the corner of blank and blank. And he was like, oh my goodness. He was like, I don't know why she would have left. Like, she usually just chills outside in the front yard. And I was like, yeah, so like we wanted to bring her to you, or are you in the area? And he was like, this is my address. We put in the GPS. It was only like 5 minutes away, I think.
Yeah, it was super close by. So she probably just got out like a little bit, you know. We delivered is a bad way to put it. We brought the dog back to the owner. The owner wasn't home. It was the younger guy that we called, but the owner's dad was home, so we contacted him. He was already outside waiting. She also like was super easy to work with. Like I walked her around to the car door, or I just opened the car door and she just hopped right in. Like
just kind of sniffed me a little bit and then chilled out.
Lay down. Yeah, I had like some jackets and stuff on the floor, like not on the floor but on the seat, and she just like bundled up in it and just chilled until we got back to the house. So like super sweet dog. Like probably the best like, you know, public dog encounter I've ever had.
Yeah.
It's just super easy to work with. Let me show you guys the video. Comment down below if you know the breed, because like I'd like to do some more research into it.
I thought it was a chocolate lab, but
yeah, but no, she's too skinny and a little bit too furry. So
I
was seeing people around our area have those dogs, like the Charleston area have those dogs. Our neighbor actually, I saw one today.
Oh, really?
It was like white and brown. Yeah, so I think I don't know if it's a herding dog or what it is, but we'll play the clip for you guys. So comment down below if you know the breed, because I'd like to know more about it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and play the clip for you guys so you guys can see it. It's like an older puppy. She's super sweet. She was waiting by the stop sign, and when we approached her, she just kind of chilled. Like she didn't run away, she didn't get scared or anything. And
I was actually asleep. I was taking a nap. That's
like,
why I'm not in the video.
I was like, hey baby, don't get freaked out, but there's a dog looking at us, like chilling right there. And you know, I get out, she's like super sweet. She does the little thing, you know, like where sweet dogs like kind of crouch down a little bit to let you pet them. Like they're a little nervous, but nice. She just like, you know, pulled up, and now we have a dog in our backseat. Thankfully she had a number, so right now we're returning.
Yeah, we did call already.
Yeah, we're returning her to her rightful owner. Thankfully they're right down the street. She just got out the yard, so.
But yeah, she's like chilling. She's
sitting in the back seat as if this is just a normal ride. Like, oh yeah, these are my people.
That's scary though, because she could have been snatched by someone.
Yeah, somebody could have been like, oh well, this is my dog now.
Yeah.
But no, that's not our place, and we're gonna go return her. Thankfully the people live right down the street.
Hey, thank you, man.
Hey, no problem, man. Y'all have a good safe night.
Okay, she's back home, guys.
Yeah.
Alright, so there you have it. Also, by the way, at the same time that we're doing this story time, we're also going to be building this Lego set. I'm going to be building the G-Wagon, and Sean's going to be building
the SL.
Yeah, that one.
So I figured I'd give her the G-Wagon, even though, oh by the way, she got me this for my birthday. So my fiance's the best, because she knows I love G-Wagons. I love AMGs in general. So she got that for me, so I was pretty happy about that.
Okay, so now
let's get into the juice. Well, I say the juice. It's a lot.
It wasn't a good experience.
Yeah.
So I don't know if most story times are. I feel like most story times aren't a good experience.
Yeah, I mean sometimes they're just a random encounter or like how it was when you were like dealing with somebody that you always wanted to meet. This was kind of just like it's been going on for a while. We figured we'd bring light to it. So talk about it,
So basically, what happened is that, so I work at a store. I work at a phone store. Basically, sometimes we have customers that come in and want us to charge their phones, and I mean we have no issue with that. We allow them to do that. But most customers will bring in their phone, say like, hey, can you charge my phone for a few minutes? I'll be back to pick it up. And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. So I plug it in and they come back in like, I don't know, some come back in like 10 minutes, some come back in an hour, whatever, it doesn't matter either way. Sometimes, I've had customers sit there and wait until I charge their phone, but that's usually like the ones that I charge like for only like a few minutes, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. And I have no issue with anyone sitting there waiting. There is a barber shop next door to us. So sometimes parents will drop their kids off there to get a haircut and leave. And then once they're done, sometimes kids will come in here and ask me like, oh, is it okay if I sit in here while I wait for my parent to pick me up? And I'm like, oh yeah, for sure, go ahead. Like, I don't mind. Sometimes the kids like will have a conversation with me. Sometimes they're just literally just sitting there quietly, like minding their own business, whatever. Either way, it's fine with me. So yeah. But basically, what happened this day, this was about, I think it was like a month and a half ago. There was a customer that came in and he wanted me to charge his phone. And I was, or no, not him, sorry. His wife, I think it's his wife.
Pretty sure.
His partner wanted me to charge her phone. So I was like, okay, yeah, for sure, that's fine. And also, this isn't the first time that I've charged her phone. She always comes and leaves it, and then she leaves. Comes back in a few minutes, and then it's all good, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. I plug it in. I think she's gonna leave, so that's that. She does walk out, and as she's walking out, she holds the door for the guy, and she's like, oh yeah, you're gonna come talk to your girl, whatever that means. So I was like, oh, he's gonna come in here. And the guy's like, he's a little, I don't wanna be mean, but he's a little cracked out all the time.
Yeah, like there's not really a nicer way to put it, but you can definitely tell he uses a substance a lot. And it kind of, you can tell it's messed with his mind a good bit too, like the way he behaves.
Yeah.
It's not, where she works isn't in the best area. It used to not be that bad, but
yeah,
it's
I don't
hit
like,
and miss,
I
really.
usually don't like judging people, but like
Yeah.
pretty much every time that he comes in there, he's like kind of bothering me, but never like extensively. But that day it was just like, it was just way too much.
Yeah, like no limits at all.
So she says that, and that like kind of throws me off because like I'm not sure what she means by that. So she walks out, he walks in, he has a book bag. He has a book bag and she has a book bag, and she had set her stuff down. He comes in, throws his book bag to the ground, sits down, and then takes his phone out of his pocket, and then he's like, hey, little mama, how you been or something? And I was like, oh, I'm good, how are you? And he was like, oh, I'm good now that I get to see your beautiful face. And I was like, okay, this is like a little awkward, but I mean, I have people that come in there all the time to check on me.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
The worst, guys.
So,
and not, she, like, by what she means by check on her, not like she literally said, like, check on her. Like, they don't actually, like, not for, like, oh, how are you? Like, have you been well? Like, no, to creep.
I don't know why someone would need to check on me, like, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if this happens to other people, like, Like, are you at your job and some random person's like, oh, I'm just checking on you. Like, unless you're like my family member, like, why are you checking on me? You know, like, or my friend, like.
It's all just like weird dudes as well.
Yeah, it's like
people that,
it's annoying.
People that you can tell don't have the best of intentions when they're saying it. They're kind of just trying to like, you know, move into her life in a very forceful way.
So even though it's annoying, most of the time I just kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
Move on with it, whatever. But yeah, so he says that, and then he starts like, he sits back down, but he starts like kind of mumbling to himself. And I'm just ignoring him because when it's a phone store, like I said, so when we get phones, we had gotten like an order that day, we have to take the phones out, we have to charge them, and we have to update them. So I was doing that. I kept looking down because, you know, I was busy. And he wasn't like he was a customer technically, but he wasn't requiring my attention or anything. I'm just charging his wife's phone. So I was kind of ignoring him when he was mumbling, but then he started like getting kind of aggressive, and I was like, okay, this is kind of weird, but whatever. Like, again, I deal with stuff like that all the time, and up until that point, I've dealt with way worse. So I was like, it's just another day. It's okay.
Just another day.
It's just another day. It's okay.
Oh my gosh.
So, but then he starts getting louder, and he's like, man, I don't even care if I go back to jail. Like, I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'm gonna get what I want. And I like looked up, and I was like, okay, this is kind of freaking me out a little bit. But again, I have dealt with some pretty bad situations, so I was like, okay. It's okay, I'm freaked out, but I'm aware, so nothing's gonna happen. I'm gonna be okay. Everything's fine, right? So again, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, like making labels, whatever. And then he gets back up, and he's like, we have like a plexiglass where the register is, only in front of the register, not like on the other sides. And he gets like really close to that. And he's like just staring at me, like just staring at me. That's just like freaking me out. And I was like, can I do something for you? And he was like, man, you're so beautiful. Have I ever told you that? And I was like, no. Like, I don't know. I didn't know what to say.
How do you respond to that? Like,
and he was just like, you're just so beautiful. Like, you do something to me. Your eyes do something to me. Like, whatever. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I didn't know what to say.
How do you respond, you know?
Yeah, like, he was getting aggressive, so I didn't want to like anger him or anything. I don't know. Maybe that was like wrong on my behalf.
I don't think so, honestly.
But I just said that, and then he was like, oh, you're just so beautiful, and he's just like mumbling, and I'm trying to ignore him by like not making eye contact with him and just looking down at like the phones that I'm like doing or whatever. And he's not leaving. So I'm just like hoping that either his wife or another customer or something is gonna walk in, someone's gonna call the store phone, like, you know, something to just blow off the situation, create a distraction. But you know, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So eventually, like, he goes, like, I walk away to like a different counter, and he like goes back, and we have a speaker at the store that I use, like, it's connected to my phone, and like it's just like a playlist that plays there. It's not like I like control like each song that's like playing or anything.
Yeah.
So he's sitting down, and then he's like, hey, can you play this song? And I was like, oh no. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Like, the speaker's connected to my phone, like it's set to a playlist, like I don't really control what's playing right now. And when I said that, he got like really upset. He got like so angry, and he was he started like throwing, like, he always carries a towel with him. I don't know why, but he like a hand towel. He like threw that to the ground, and he was like, man, I'm just asking you to play me a song. Why can't you just play me a song? You're already playing like music on the speaker. So I was like, oh, sorry, like, we just don't take requests. Like, that is like the music that plays here. I was like, I don't take requests from anyone. I don't control the music. It's set to a specific playlist.
Right.
And he was like, I'm just asking her to play a song for me. So he comes back to the counter and he asked me to give him his wife's phone because he's like, I'm just gonna play the song myself. So, I mean, it's their phone, I can't say no.
You can't tell him no, really.
So I give him the phone and he starts like trying to play music on it. So he starts doing that, and as he starts doing that, his wife comes back and she's like, why are you on my phone? Like, it's supposed to be charging because I have to go to work or something, I think is what she said. And he's like, oh, well, I asked her to play me a song and she won't play me a song. And at this point, a customer walks in and I'm helping him out. He was like, he had an issue with his battery. It took me a few minutes to realize what the issue was with his phone because it wasn't turning on at first. But when I was trying to talk to the customer with the phone issue, that guy started like screaming and interrupting me. And he was like, hey, are you gonna play that song or not? And I was like, excuse me, like, I'm helping someone out, give me just a second. And his wife's right there, so he's like, you see this? You see this? I'm just asking her to play a dang song, and she's not playing the song.
As if she's like in the wrong, like, what?
And what's it called? So I tell the customer like, oh yeah, like this is the issue with your phone, whatever. And
I think it was like a battery issue, right?
Yeah, it was a battery issue. His battery was like too degraded. I told him like he could repair it, but he said he would see what he wanted to do because he just thought like if he bought a charger, like that was gonna fix it, but that's not how it works. Yeah. Anyways, though, he ends up leaving, and at this point, his wife is telling the guy that she's hungry, so she wants to go get some food. If they can go get some food. And he's like, man, and like he's really aggressive with her too. He's like, man, can't you just see that I'm talking to my girl? I'm hanging out with my girl. Like, no, go get yourself food if you want. And she's like, okay, can I get my wallet, or can I get the money to go to the liquor store? And I was like, oh my gosh, no, please don't, because that means that she's gonna leave and she's gonna leave me with him. Here.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, I ain't giving you no money or whatever. So she gets frustrated, leaves for like 5 minutes, and then I'm hoping he's just gonna like leave me alone. And then he starts saying the whole thing again, like, oh, I don't even care if like I go to jail, I'm gonna do whatever I have to do. Oh my God. Then she comes back after like a few minutes, like 5 minutes, and she asks him if he wants to go to KFC with her, and he says, no, again, I'm hanging out with her. And she looks at me, and I don't know if she like resents me or something because she thinks that there's something going on. I don't know why she would think that, but like obviously that is not the case. So she walks out and she says, well, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go get myself some food. So she leaves, and at this point he comes up to the counter again. This whole time he had been sitting down at a chair. He comes up to the counter again, and he's looking at me and he's like mumbling really quietly. And I'm like, I don't know if anybody else has ever been in the situation, but like, if you have, then you probably know that you don't know how to react in certain situations. So you don't know what to do, and you don't know what to say. Or maybe you do, and maybe it's just me. I don't know. But he's like mumbling, and I'm like confused. Like, I don't know if he's talking to me or not. Yeah. So I think I say like, oh, is there something I can do for you? Because he also wouldn't stop staring at me.
Yeah.
And he was like, he goes like this. And I was like, what the hell? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, like, why?
So I turn around, walk away, and I'm hoping that when I turn around and walk away, he's gonna walk away and go sit down, right?
Get the hint, you know?
But he does not. And then I ask again, is there anything I can do for you? And what's it called? He's like, I don't care how many cameras are in here. I'm gonna do what I have to do. And I mean, what is that supposed to make me think?
What are you supposed to do with that information?
Like, obviously I'm gonna get like scared. So I texted Sean and I was like, hey, like there's this guy that's like kind of freaking me out. Like he's just making like weird comments and I don't know. So Sean's like, do you want me to come? And I was like, no, it's okay. It should be fine. Like, I just wanted you to know. So
Yeah.
That's that. And he's like saying that he starts mumbling, walks away a little bit to the other counter, and then continues to look at me and just like starts dancing. There's no music. Like I'll be just my music.
Starts
like,
just like
from the speaker that's already playing.
Yeah.
So he starts doing that, and once he's dancing, he's like blowing me kisses again. And then I think a customer walks in, so he goes to sit down again. The customer makes the payment, they leave, and he starts saying something again. And I'm thinking, I don't know why at this point I thought he was talking on the phone, because he starts saying, yeah, I don't know. No, I think she knows that like how I feel about her. I don't know how she feels about me, but I know how I feel about her. And again, I'm working. The customer had already left, so I'm like looking down at like the phones that I'm dealing with and stuff. So to me, that sounded like maybe a conversation that he was having over the phone. But I look up. There's no phone in his hand. I mean, there is a phone in his hand, but it's like down by his side.
Talking to himself.
He's just talking to himself.
Yeah, like.
So he's like saying that, he's like, yeah, I know how I feel about her. I know how I feel about her, but I don't know how she feels. Yeah, like, and he's like staring at me. The whole time he was staring at me while he was saying that. So like, what am I supposed to think? So then again, I text Sean and I'm like, oh, so you know how I said like, don't worry about it?
Like, no, it's
not.
not.
He's kind of freaking me out a little bit more.
Yeah.
So just so you know. And then did you ask me like, should I come or something again?
Yeah, I was texting her. I was like, hey, it's no trouble. Like, I'm free. I was like, I can come like right now if you need me to, because like I said, this isn't just I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but this isn't just a one-time instance. Like, he's came in the past, but never been this bad. So I knew like exactly who she was talking about and how uncomfortable, like, you know, like we don't judge people as people. We don't. But that guy makes her really uncomfortable for the righteous. I mean, anybody that just listened to anything that she said would probably also be uncomfortable, especially like a younger female. Like, would also be like,
and like,
what does he do? Like, why is he doing
there's
that?
no way that I can describe it to you guys to make it feel as scary as it was in the moment.
Yeah, like the way she's telling this, I'm just thinking about, like, I'm getting like anxious just thinking about it, because in the moment it was just so tense. Like, the whole thing was extremely
That's not even
stressful.
the worst part. We haven't even gotten to the worst part yet.
No, bro, like.
So basically, like, he was making me really anxious. So then Sean says like, okay, like I'm gonna come. And I was at this point, like, he was saying like, you're so beautiful, you're so damn beautiful, like, you know, like, I don't know what he wanted to pursue out of that. Like, I don't know what he wanted to do. And he kept looking around, like, past behind me, because there's like cameras like on the corners, like behind me.
He's like scooping it out.
And he's like looking over the counter, looking like, you know, down the hallway, like to see. And he kept saying, I mean, I don't care how many cameras y'all have, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. Because he said, because I always get my way and I do what I want. And at this point I was scared, because the parking lot outside was completely empty.
Bro, I pulled up, there was no one there.
It was completely empty. Like, no chance another customer is gonna come in. I know another customer is not gonna come in and like defend me, but I'm thinking like, okay, if someone else comes, like maybe it'll deter him from like, you know, bothering me or whatever.
Yeah.
And his wife isn't even here at this point either. So I didn't deny the help from Sean. I was like, yes, like, if you want to come, like, that would be greatly
appreciated.
So he does come, and I told him, when you get here, don't act like you know me, just act like you're a customer, because I want to see if that just deters him, because I don't want to have an issue.
You don't want to escalate the situation if you don't have to, especially with someone that's not acting like sane, you know?
So it took a few minutes for Sean to get there, but in the time that he did like get there, he just kept going. And he just kept saying the same thing over and over again, that I'm so beautiful, whatever. So then eventually he goes back to sit down, and he's sitting down when Sean gets there, and Sean walks in and he's like, oh, can you clean out my charging port? Because that is something that I do for him anyways, because it gets dirty from like being in his pocket or whatever, like lint gets in it. So I do that, and then I give him the phone back, And like I said, we had just gotten new phones, so I asked Sean, I was like, oh, do you want to see this cool new phone that we got? I can't even remember what phone was it.
Yeah, it was the Samsung. It was like an S24, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, was it a green one?
I think so. You're like, oh, look at the green. We're a big fan of like green phones.
Yeah.
I really wish like maybe like the new iPhone will come out in green again. I miss that, but yeah. So she was showing it to me, and I was like, oh wow, like that's really cool.
Yeah.
But obviously, still,
Yeah, like I was trying. Again, I was trying to act like he was a customer.
Just trying to ease it over.
Just trying to show him the phone. We're kind of like nerdy when it comes to phones like that. So
yeah,
like,
we do like technology a good bit.
So I was like, look at it, so pretty. We go to the other counter. Like the register is here. At the counter, there's a counter this way and a counter this way.
Yeah, it's like a U shape. Like there's counter, taller counter. That's where she's at. Lower one on the side and another one, and then there's one that curves. So it's blocked off essentially, kind of.
It's all closed off.
But if you wanted to reach over it and grab something, you could. Like if you're tall enough.
It's not all closed off. There's this sign that I put at the end, like at the opening, to walk back there. I think most customers assume that is like a part of it, but it's not. Like you could just push it out the way and do that.
Oh yeah, you're talking about like the Wi-Fi box thing?
Yeah. Okay,
all right,
so
we're back. So our camera did die.
Yes, we had a charger for like 10 minutes.
Should we show a little update on our little Lego sets before we start?
Well, you have an update. I don't really have much.
I've been going at it this whole time. So check it out. Got my little SL63 badge in the back. Got my little bougie dude with the jacket. I noticed your lady has the AMG logo on it, like on the Motorcraft.
Oh, I guess it is.
Yeah, like on the that's where they sign it, the engineers.
This is my lady. Apparently, I thought it was a dude.
Yeah.
And ready? You're not even ready for what I've built.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
She's already like cooking the frame. But she just started, so she's been telling the story,
And I'm telling the story. So okay, but so where did we leave off at?
Yeah, sorry guys, we don't know exactly where we left off at. I'm pretty sure we just left off at
I was just showing Sean a specific phone.
We apologize if it's not perfectly in sync for the future.
Yes, we will try to do.
We'll try to do the best we can.
But yes, so I was showing Sean the phone, and then I showed him a different one as well. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was just like another Samsung phone.
Yeah.
And when I showed him that one, Sean was like, I don't know if you were like mouthing something to me.
Yeah, I was like, bro, what in the world? Because he got up and he was starting to walk behind me. Pace behind me.
And I was like, I'm short.
And then he was, sorry, I'm cutting you off.
You're okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to do this real quick. He started basically looking like I'm here and he's like probably where the wall's at. And he was like looking over my shoulder to see what I was doing with her, because I'm assuming he's over here like, ooh, that's my girl. Like,
no.
I'm trying to figure out what he's being like nosy and stuff,
I was about to say, like, because I'm smaller than Sean, I'm shorter. I went behind him and I was like, he's not leaving. He's been here. Oh, and I didn't even mention this. At this point, he had been there for like over an hour.
Yeah.
That's how much time had gone on.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Sean, like, I had texted him. I was like, he's just making me really uncomfortable because he keeps bothering me. Whatever. And he's just not leaving. He had just been there for way too long. Yeah. And again, I'm just charging his wife's phone.
Yeah.
So like I shouldn't be having to deal with this.
Yeah. Crazy, dude.
And because he did see me go behind Sean, because he couldn't see me anymore or whatever, that's when he got concerned. He got up, started walking around Sean.
Because I was actually interacting with him
doing like this over his shoulder, like trying to see what he was doing. Like I don't know what he thought that you could be doing to me or something, according to him. But
flirting, I guess. I'd be darned if I, talk to my fiance.
Well, probably because that's what he goes and does, apparently.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's trying to take her from me or something. Like, bro. I think he's seen that you have had a ring before, right? Like he's mentioned it in the past.
I cannot remember.
But we are talking about like I said, I'm not a judgmental person. I try to give everybody a fair chance in life. I don't judge. But he has always kind of came in like under the influence, like not super aware.
Yeah.
So it's hit and miss. I think the last time he came before this time, he was okay. They weren't there that long.
I honestly cannot remember.
But it's been on and off and on issue for a while.
Even if he's not under the influence or whatever, he's still like that. Like
yeah, it's kind of sad.
Maybe just a little bit less, but he's always like that for the most part. So anyways, Me and Sean walked back to the first counter, which again, it's a U shape. We were on this side. Now we walk to the back where the register is. And Sean's just kind of talking to me, and he's like standing real close to him, and then he kind of backs away, and goes
he
to like
blows you a kiss, right?
To the end of the counter, and I'm still telling Sean at this point, like, he's not leaving. Like, I just want him to leave.
Yeah, and like she still has one of those like COVID plexiglasses. I don't know if you mentioned that here or not.
I did.
In front of her counter where
oh
her
yeah,
computer's
that's what
at.
you saw, right?
And I was looking in the reflection just to see what he was doing because he was really close behind me. I could darn near hear him breathing.
No, at this point, like he came up behind him and he was like, he started playing music again on his phone or on his wife's phone, I think at this point. I can't remember.
Something like that.
And he was like, oh, it was his phone. I remember now.
Yeah.
It was his phone, and he was like holding it up to his ear, and he's just going like literally like this. He's just like dancing,
Sorry, I'm not trying to make
dancing like this close to Sean, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah, he gets like super close
so
to me.
He backs away to the other counter, to the side one, and then I'm like, I roll my eyes at Sean because I'm like what?
Like, bro, what is going on?
What can I do?
Like why? Yeah.
So he comes back around. He's dancing with the phone again, and then Sean, like I can see Sean's face just getting like really upset. So he blows me a kiss, and because of the plexiglass, he could see the reflection he saw, and I was like, did you see that? Like, did you see that? He did that again. So then I was like, oh my gosh, like I was like mouthing it to him. I was like, I don't know what to do. So then Sean like turns around like this. He's like,
I'm like, hey bro, you gonna buy something?
He's like, man, are you gonna buy something or what? And then the guy's just like, I'm sorry, this should not be funny, but it was just really.
Yeah, it's not funny, but it's just like,
it was
really like this situation as a whole is just like, wow, like we handle things differently.
It was just very ridiculous.
But yeah, like it was just insane. Because I turned around because he was really. I mean, if you're talking to your fiance at her place of work, and a freaking random dude that's been harassing her for the past few hours is just behind you blowing kisses to her, you're just like, obviously I'm gonna do something. So, you know, I turn around like, you know, politely. I don't like just get in his face. He's still like about this distance away.
It wasn't super politely.
You were chairs.
You were like, are you gonna?
Low key, I was fuming.
Yeah, no, his face was like really upset. That's why it was kind of funny to me because Sean rarely gets mad and I rarely see him.
Yeah, I'm usually a pretty mellow person.
So it just kind of like, obviously I knew he was mad, but it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But I was surprised, but I was very thankful that he did that because I was like, okay, maybe this guy's gonna be like, oh, like,
yeah, like, oh my
maybe
bad,
what
man.
I'm doing is wrong. Let me stop.
No, that's not.
No, he walks up to Sean and he's like, wait a minute.
Like, what's going on here?
He's like, what's going on? Who are you to tell me or whatever?
Who is you?
And Sean's like, I'm her fiance, and that kind of like made me giggle a little bit because the situation
was kind of corny. You know what I'm saying?
It was kind of corny just because the situation was like kind of like escalating. Again, I feel like there is no way that I can describe it to you guys, and
like voicing it out, it doesn't sound intense.
But it was pretty bad.
It was so bad.
So
this all happened a lot faster than we can explain it.
Yes. So he says that, and I'm like, all the situation was just like very tense, and he says that. So again, it kind of caught me off guard. So I was just watching because, you know, like I was like, what's gonna happen?
What do I do? Yeah, like.
So basically, he says that, and he's like, oh, okay, and he's like starts backing up. He's like, what's the issue? And Sean's like, well, what did you say? She's been telling me.
I was like, yeah, man, she's been telling you to like, you know, she's been just asking you if you need anything. You've been helping her out and stuff, and like, or she's been helping you out, and like, you're not really doing anything. You're just kind of in here bothering her.
And then he starts getting all defensive and saying that I'm lying and that he was never bothering me.
He's like, man, you don't know nothing. Like, that's not what's happening at all. He's like, who is you to tell me like what I'm doing? You know, like clearly like getting super defensive as if like, you know,
as if nothing had happened, and basically
like,
try to call me a liar
an angel,
at this point.
You know? Yeah, like.
Okay, sorry. So I died again.
Yeah,
we had to charge it again.
Hey, a little update though, just real quick. It's done, baby. Look at that. She's still working through hers. Hers is like twice as long as mine is.
Yeah. Also, I'm like mostly the
She's
one
mostly
that's
talking.
explaining.
But you want to continue? You want me to take it over?
Yeah, so I was saying, basically, when Sean confronts him and says like, oh, she's been telling me that you've been bothering her and you won't leave her alone. He starts saying like, oh, no, I haven't said anything. He said, why would I want your old lady? Like,
yeah.
Basically saying that I'm lying, like, I didn't say that, like, how would you know? And it's like, he said it to me, like, I know what he said to me.
And he was still acting a fool when I got there too, you know?
Yeah. I mean, literally the blowing the kisses just because he thought like Sean was just a random customer. And that is the reason why I told him not to like act like he knew me, because I wanted to see how he was also gonna act.
Exactly.
But yeah, so also at this point, pretty much like now, like 5 minutes later after Sean got there, initially his wife comes back, but she doesn't come inside.
She's like, there's a little brick ledge. She was just sitting outside the door.
Yeah, or like by the window.
Yeah.
And like I could see that she was eating her food that she had gone to get. So because Sean's like, no, she's been telling me this and stuff, he gets like angry and he grabs Sean's arm.
He like basically walks over and goes like, grips the crap out my arm, and he's like, come on, I'm gonna make you talk to my wife. Like, come talk to my wife with me. Basically trying to insinuate, like, I think in his head he was trying to further the point that like he's not trying to do anything with her. Like, I got my wife outside, but I was like, I'm not going outside with this dude. I'm in here to stop whatever's happening. I'm not here to escalate and go into a whole different situation. So, you know, he grabs my arm and stuff, and then I'm like, no, I'm not going with you. Like, no. I was like, just stop bothering her, leave her alone.
I think, well, because Sean pulled away from him, like,
yeah,
like
he grabbed my arm and I went, bam.
Yeah, but
I pulled it right out of his arm.
I think because he saw that Sean wasn't gonna just like, you know, be like whatever.
Yeah, and another thing too is the whole time I didn't break eye contact with him.
Yeah.
At all, and I could tell that
I think he got like kind of scared, or not scared,
but just like, oh, he's not like, I can't pull him around. You know what I'm saying?
He backed off and he was like, oh, actually, I like you, man. You cool.
Yeah, he tried to fluff my hair up too. Like, it was the craziest thing.
He goes like this. He's like, I like you. You cool. He's like, I like your haircut.
Yeah.
Where did you get your haircut at?
I dead stared at him. I was like, don't touch my hair. It's like, don't.
Oh yeah, like you. I think you went like this to his arm.
I like grabbed his arm. I was like, don't touch my hair. Don't do that. I was like, we're not friends. I was like, we're not cool. We're not friends. I was like,
I think, didn't he ask you why you can't be friends or something?
Yeah, like I was like, we're not cool. I was like, this is not cool. I was like, you cannot be in here doing this. I was like, you can't come in and bother her. And I was like, that's not what you're here for. I was like, you can charge your phone here. I was like, she's providing you a service that she's not even required to provide. She's just helping you out. I was like, she don't mind helping you out. That's what she's here for. That's her job. You know?
Starts saying like, oh yeah, no, like she's very helpful. Like she always helps me out.
Yeah.
Like, she always sells me stuff. First of all, that's a lie, because he doesn't ever buy anything from there. Literally, the only reason why they go in there is to charge their phone, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay if they don't bother me.
You know?
First of all, I don't even know why I'm having to deal with him if it's not even him, the one that is charging the phone.
Yeah, his phone had been off the charger that whole time. It's just like he stayed there specifically to harass her.
Literally just to bother me.
And you know, like he was getting really he got really flustered whenever I was like, we're not cool. I was like, this is not a good situation. Like, we're not cool. I was like, you can't be coming in here and doing this. I was like, if you want to come in, charge your phone, that's fine, but you can't stay in here, because you know you're just in here bothering her. I was like, there's other customers that need help, and you can't just be sitting in here.
He also got frustrated when Sean said that, because he started saying like, who is you to tell me that?
Yeah, he's like, I come in here all the time. Like,
he's like, you can ask her. I always come in here and buy stuff. Like, who is you to tell me I can't be in here? And I was like, I don't know. I felt kind of awkward in the moment, because I'm like, I mean, he's right. Like, I'm not like the manager or anything. Like, I can't tell him like to not come in here.
You can't.
Just because, like, I don't know. Just because I'm at my place of like work doesn't mean I'm gonna let someone just harass me.
Yeah, take advantage of you, bro. Because that's essentially what he was doing. He knew that he could stay there and do that, and you know, she couldn't be like, all right, you gotta go.
Yeah.
So.
But basically, after that, he starts saying like, oh yeah, no, like, I don't want your old lady, like, I'm cool if you're cool, whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, she's just charging my phone, whatever. And he starts to like chill out, and he says the whole thing again. He's like, I like you, and he like goes like this to like shake Sean's hand or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
And this pissed me off that you did this, but Sean gave him his hand. I
just wanted him to leave. I was like, all right, you gotta go. I was like, you can't stay here.
Yeah, but I didn't like that you did that because if
I
you
regret
do
that.
Because I feel like because he did that, now that makes him think that like that behavior is okay, and it's like, okay, you can do that, and there will be a confrontation, but it'll all be okay in the end. And it's not. Like that was like very frustrating. And
I regret
again,
doing that.
Like to some of you, it might not seem like it was like a bad situation, but it was really bad.
Yeah, you just had to be there.
We cannot explain it to you to make it sound like as bad as it was. So basically, he gives him his hand, and I'm thinking like, okay, it's all over now. He's gonna leave, but he does not.
He does not leave.
He starts again saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go, but like now in his face, like I see something different, and I can see that he's like very angry.
Yeah, he's pissed.
Because like I don't know if it's because he's under like drugs or I don't know.
Yeah.
But something like I feel like something in his brain like kind of
something else I just remembered too. I forgot to mention this. When he was getting super flustered before any of that even happened, he walked up to like after like I told him like, you know, after he said who was you, it's whoever finished off on the last clip. He walked up to me and stood directly in front of me and just like slung his backpack off his shoulders.
No, that happened afterwards, remember?
Oh, that happened afterwards?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at too. Initially he did get really close to Sean, and that's when he touched his hair and just like was this close to him. But what's it called? That's when he's like said everything was good. He backed away to like the side counter, and I was like, okay, he's leaving. I literally looked at Sean and I mouthed him, I think he's gonna leave soon. Because his wife was also there, which meant that she was back for the phone.
She was probably gonna come back for the phone, grab it and go, you know?
But then he gets upset again, and he comes back towards Sean and he's like, I'm gonna come back. This isn't the last you're gonna see of me. And Sean's like, why? Like he doesn't say anything, but he's like confused.
I'm just sitting here like, bro, did you miss the whole conversation?
I think he did say something like that. And then he gets upset again, and he grabs his book bag and flings it off his back and gets like super close, chest to chest to Sean.
I remember now, I directly told him, like, I was like, you can't come back and do this. I was like, you can come in here, charge your phone and leave. But I was like, you can't come in here and harass her. I was like, you can't come in here and bother her and just think it's okay and sit here for hours on end. I was like, you're not buying a product to justify you being at the store. Like if I go and sit, well actually never mind, it's a bad example. I was gonna say if I go and sit inside Chick-fil-A for all day long for the whole shift, they're gonna eventually kick me out, but they probably won't. It's Chick-fil-A. But you know, if I go into a place of business that's a small store and I go just sit in the chair, I mean, this store is probably the size of like our kitchen, not even.
No, it's not.
For the lobby area. It's like cabinets on the wall. So, you know, it's not a big space. So if I would go sit in the chair in a small business, eventually after a little while, even if I'm not bothering anyone, they're gonna be like, hey, like, are you doing anything? Or are you just gonna leave? Like, you know, why are you here? So him, yes, he's charging his phone there, but if you're sitting there getting up, harassing her, getting mad at her because she won't play a song when it's not even in her control, like, you know, just being an absolute bother and not actually purchasing a product. Not that if you purchase a product, it's okay.
And literally threatening me. And I don't know, someone else might not think this is threatening, but the whole like him saying like, oh yeah,
I don't care if I go back to jail.
I don't care how many cameras there are in here. I'm gonna do what I have to do. I don't care if I go back to jail. Like to me, that is very threatening. I don't feel safe, and that I mean, my feelings are valid. I genuinely did not feel safe, so that's why I asked Sean to come.
Yeah. Alright guys, so we are back. Sorry, we are on live support with our camera. We're bad camera parents, so we didn't prep it beforehand. And this video is kind of long too. So we left off, I'm pretty sure, at he approached me like face to face, tried to sling the backpack off of his shoulders. Well, not tried, he did sling the backpack off his shoulders. And basically just to de-escalate that, like, I don't know. He was one of those people I feel that was trying to be something. Like trying to make it like
trying to act
like
tough,
be all tough, but just looking at him, he was like, all right, like he just grabbed himself together. Like, you know, I didn't break eye contact with him. That's
I think that like deterred him from like anything. Yeah. And then again, once again, he did the whole thing like, oh, like You cool, I like you, whatever.
Yeah. So after that, he was like,
he eventually was like,
all right. He was like mumbling a bunch of stuff and whatever. He was upset for sure. So he walks out, right? Walks out the door, grabs his stuff, walks out the door, and then his wife is right there, right? So she asked him a question, I think, or something. They start arguing like hard,
bad, like you
right outside the door. They're yelling, they're screaming, like, you know, like it goes on for probably like 5-10 minutes, like just outside the store. They're just like arguing, screaming. It's crazy. And she comes in afterwards. And
no,
she's
they
like,
left.
Oh, they left first?
Yeah, they leave.
Okay.
They leave, and I'm like, okay, they left, and then I'm like, crap.
I still have her phone.
He didn't take her phone. It's still charging. So then I was like, oh my gosh, that means either she or he is gonna come back to get it. I was like, I just want to be done with this because after all
this was like 3 or 4 hours worth.
No, it was like almost 2 hours, but like it was just I was tired. Like I was so done with it. Like I didn't want to keep dealing with that situation with either of them. Like she's pretty nice for the most part. I mean, it's not that she's nice. It's just that she's not.
Yeah, she's all right. You know, she doesn't come in like wanting problems. She's not rude per se.
She just charges kind of her phone
she comes in,
whatever,
does business and leaves like anybody else should.
So they leave and I'm like, oh my God, thank God. And Sean's like, do you want me to leave? And I was like, oh yeah, like you can leave. Like I don't want to like hold you up. Like,
yeah.
I don't want you to stay here for no reason. And he's like, are you sure? Like, what if they come back? And I'm like, well, they're gonna come back because they have to get the phone. But I was like, I'm hoping it's just gonna be her. And I'm hoping that like, even if he does come, like he's gonna chill out because like, you know, like, I mean, after all this, I really hope that he's not gonna try to like do anything.
Yeah.
But you know, but Sean's like, are you sure? Like I can stay, it's okay, like it doesn't matter. So eventually I'm like, okay, like I kind of want you to stay.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't feel comfortable leaving knowing that their phone was still there because it could have just been like, you know, we'll see how that goes. But like, you know, I didn't want to leave because there's a lot of unknowns with how the situation would go, especially if he comes back and now there's no one there to like, you know, create a barrier in between the situation. He can come back and do whatever, you know, like maybe he'll come back more mad. His behavior was pretty like off table. Like he kind of just went and did whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah. And after about like, so he did end up deciding to stay because I did want him to stay.
Yeah, it was like what, 30 minutes?
No, it was like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because she did leave again. After like 10 minutes, she comes back and she's like, hey mama, how's my phone doing? And I was like, oh, let me check. And then I told her whatever percentage it was on. It was like 70 something, I think, or I don't know. And she was like, oh, okay. She was like, I kind of want it to be charged a little bit more. And it hadn't charged fully as well because he did take it off the charger.
He kept taking it on and off
multiple
the charger
times.
because his was dead for the most part.
It kept dying as well. So
yeah.
So she comes back and I tell her the percentage and she's like, okay, can you just charge it a little bit longer? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And she was like, yeah, idiot got himself in trouble and now idiot can't come back or something.
Yeah, and thankfully they have not came back since. Like she eventually came back for her phone. And this has been about a month and a half now. That's why some of the parts were stumbling a little bit.
Because it's been a while.
We wanted to wait a while before the situation, you know, see if it actually was done with.
Well, I
don't know if it's done with per se.
I also didn't really feel comfortable talking about it at first because I was like really upset about it. Cause like
it was like
again,
I said,
like it might not seem super bad to y'all, but to me it was pretty traumatizing. Like
no, it was crazy. Honestly, it was like a really wild situation, and we've never experienced anything that bad.
Yeah, Sean's never been on the verge of like almost fighting someone.
Yeah.
So
like it was pretty crazy.
She does end up leaving the phone for me to charge for a little bit longer. And she leaves it there because it had been like already like so much time that had gone by. She ended up coming back to pick up the phone like about like 10 minutes before we closed. And thankfully she left. She was by herself. So
yeah, he never came back after that.
Not that day.
Not that day.
They did come back like 2-3 days later, I think. Because I saw her coming, like I saw her walking and I was like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah, like,
There's
here
no
we go
way.
again.
Because I know that like she's probably not by herself usually, so like I knew that I was gonna encounter him. So again, she asked me to charge her phone that day, and I did it. He didn't come in though. She was just kind of chilling there, and she was acting kind of awkward. So I was like concerned if like maybe she was like kind of mad at me for what had happened the previous time. But you know, I'm over here just doing my work. I can't remember exactly what it was that I was doing that day, but I was just doing whatever, and then eventually I see him, and he comes in.
Yeah.
Because she said that he was getting a haircut like next door. Like I said, there's a barbershop there. So he comes in and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I really don't want to deal with this right now. Like I'm in such a good mood. Like I don't want to deal with it. And I thought he was gonna say something about it. I thought like, I don't know, you guys know how creepy people are like that. Like he was gonna maybe try to be all apologetic or something.
Like, oh, I'm sorry for what I did the other day, you know.
Or just completely like act like he didn't remember, and that's the one he went with. He didn't even mention it. Like I genuinely think that he doesn't
remember
know that it happened.
Yeah.
Because he did not say anything. He still said like, hey, how are you doing? Like I'm just checking up on you, like the whole thing that he always does. So either he doesn't care or he straight up just doesn't remember.
Yeah, one of the two.
But yeah.
That
was really long. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate if you guys watched it all the way to the end. We know these longer videos, you know, can drag on for a while. We hope that the story was, interesting for you guys and enlightening for others. If you're going through something like that, don't always brush it off. You know, if you have someone that can help you responsibly de-escalate the situation, please do something about it so it doesn't continue further, because that is harassment. So just, you know, as an enlightenment for you guys in the future, for anybody going through something similar, or maybe it's similar on a smaller scale, definitely nip it before it gets worse. Because it will escalate to something bigger over time. We appreciate you guys watching this video a lot. Sorry, we will post, her build for Lego build is a lot longer, and she was talking the whole time, so she didn't get to work on it as much. We'll put a little picture at the end with them posted up that we can show you guys, because they look pretty cool. You want to show what you have already?
Yeah, let me just set this.
Sorry, she's like mid-step. My bad. She's putting doors on.
That's a door?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a door. Because it doesn't have any opening doors. It's a small
This is what it looks like so far.
So hers is the G-Wagon, and mine is the SL63.
As you can see, mine's like a lot cooler.
That's cool.
Because mine has, it's doorless, it's steering wheel-less, it's windowless.
Hey, check this out. Oh, got the little AMG motor logo right there.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. I got my little dude in there, you know, so yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. That was pretty cool. So we will definitely put a picture that you guys can see at the end of the video.
But yes, I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching the video. I know, like, I hope it didn't stress anybody out. But I don't want to say like we had fun filming it, because that's not a way to describe it.
We enjoy informing you guys.
Yeah, but like, it was nice getting it off our chest.
Yeah, because we wanted to talk about it for a little while now. We haven't actually talked about it since it's happened.
Yeah,
so
we just kind of like, we told my mom.
Pushed it away,
And then she like agreed that like, it was like a good thing that Sean went and like kind of like stopped it, because she said like that's one of those situations that you have to stop at the root before it proceeds to get worse.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't want to talk for too much longer, because we know it's so long.
We've done plenty of that already. We hope that you guys enjoyed the pie video. Comment down below if you had any that were your favorites that you think I should have got, but I didn't, if you haven't commented it already. If you haven't seen the pie video, or you're new here, be sure to subscribe, be sure to hit the like button. We have videos coming out every week, sometimes a couple times a week. So we're trying to get on our posting grind more. We've noticed you guys have grown, our crowd has grown recently, so
ow, you're pulling my hair.
How did I grab your
I have no idea.
It's long. But yeah, so be sure you stick around, subscribe, and like the videos, of course. Leave any comments for any video ideas you guys would like to see, or if you have any comments or stories, we would love to see them, and we'll be sure to check the comments to see if you guys have anything similar that you've gone through. But thank you for sticking around, and we'll see you guys in the next video.
Bye.